I want you to think about a date for a second. Not a big one, not a major holiday or anything, but a seemingly random day, February 25th. Well, it turns out this one ordinary date holds a really strange secret, a kind of hidden thread that connects some of the most brilliant minds in the entire history of science and math. It sounds like the start of a joke, right? What could possibly link these three people from completely different times, different places, different fields? The answer is, well, it's way more surprising than you might think.
And that's the key right there. All of their incredible stories, their breakthroughs, their challenges, they all cross paths on this one single day of the year. So let's start peeling back the layers of this fascinating historical puzzle.
Okay, our journey kicks off more than 350 years ago. We're heading back to the Age of Enlightenment, a time when brand new ideas were literally changing how we saw the entire universe. So get this. On this one date, we've got this incredible contrast. On February 25th, 1670, Maria Winkelmann was born. She was a phenomenal German astronomer. In fact, she was the very first woman to discover a comet. But she was denied a professional job at the Berlin Academy just because she was a woman. Now, decades later, on that exact same date, February 25th, 1723, Sir Christopher Wren died. We all know him as the master architect who rebuilt London, but he was also a founder of the prestigious Royal Society and, believe it or not, a giant in the world of mathematics.
And don't think for a second that math was just some side hobby for Wren. Isaac Newton himself, yes, that Isaac Newton, counted him among the absolute greatest mathematical minds of his time, right up there with the heavyweights. So the takeaway here is huge. The guy rebuilding London was also one of the top mathematicians on the planet.
And the pattern just keeps going. Meet Giordano Riccati, another brilliant mind born on our mystery date. He was an Italian genius who dug deep into mechanics, and he was studying the properties of elasticity a whole 25 years before Thomas Young, the guy who usually gets all the credit for it.
All right, let's jump forward in time to the 20th century, because this pattern, it just keeps getting stronger. This isn't some old world quirk. The February 5th connection stretches right into the era of the scientists who built the very foundations of modern physics and math. And what's wild is just how global this whole thing gets. All born on February 25th, you've got James McConnell over in Ireland, who is a priest diving into the bizarre world of quantum mechanics. You have Ernst Strauss, a German-American who worked on relativity. And you have Carlos Grafe, a pioneering physicist from Mexico who studied cosmic rays. We're talking 3 different countries, 3 totally different fields, all sharing the same birthday. It's pretty amazing.
But this story isn't all about quiet breakthroughs in a lab. It's also a story of survival. The absolute chaos of the 20th century's wars had a massive impact on the lives of so many brilliant thinkers, including, you guessed it, several tied to our date.
I mean, just take a look at the unbelievable life of Hugo Steinhaus, who died on February 25th. His career was just defined by brilliance and sheer resilience. He gets his doctorate, he serves in World War I, and then, and this is just harrowing, as a Jewish intellectual, he's forced to survive the horrors of World War II, often hiding from both the Soviets and the Nazis. And yet, after all that, he comes out of it and becomes a central figure in rebuilding Poland's legendary maths community. Just incredible.
And Steinhaus was far from alone. His story of turmoil and perseverance was echoed by others connected to this date. Mathematicians like Kurt Mahler and Jacob Levitsky, who also passed away on February 25th, had their lives and work completely turned upside down by that era's chaos, forced to flee their homes and rebuild everything in new countries.
Okay, so after the wars, the world of mathematics becomes way more connected than ever before. And that February 25th thread, it just keeps weaving its way across the entire globe.
You have to hear the remarkable story of Gündüz Ikeda. He was born in Tokyo on February 25th, but he fell in love with Turkey, so he moved there, became a citizen, and poured his life into building up the country's mathematics programs. He ended up becoming a pillar of the Turkish scientific community. It's just a beautiful example of how knowledge doesn't care about borders.
But knowledge doesn't just cross borders. Sometimes it crosses the line from purely theoretical ideas into some seriously high-stakes, real-world applications. And that brings us to Richard Varga, who passed away on February 25th, 2022.
See, Varga got his PhD from Harvard, but he didn't just stay in that academic bubble. His work took him straight out of the ivory tower and into the heart of the Cold War, where the stakes could not have been higher.
So here's the bottom line.
After Harvard, Varga's research into these super-complex diffusion equations wasn't just some abstract exercise. His work was, and I'm quoting here, essential for designing the nuclear reactors that powered the U.S. Navy's nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers. His abstract math had a direct, powerful, and very real impact on Cold War national security.
Whew. Okay. We've traveled from the 1600s to today, from Germany to Japan, from looking at comets to building nuclear reactors. So what's the grand pattern? What is it that connects all these different threads?
Here it is, the big reveal. It's not some secret society or a cosmic destiny. It's a mind-boggling historical coincidence. Every single one of these diverse, brilliant, world-changing individuals was either born or died on February 25th. It's this unlikely, fascinating, and totally random pattern just woven into the fabric of scientific history.
I mean, just step back and think about the sheer scope of that for a second. This one single date connects trailblazers who had to fight for recognition, architects who rebuilt entire cities, survivors who endured the worst humanity had to offer, and innovators who literally powered the modern world. It's this quiet, invisible thread running through centuries of human achievement.
So what's the big takeaway here? Is it that February 25th is some magical day for scientists? No, of course not. The real point is that history is filled with these subtle, hidden connections. It's a reminder that if you just look closely enough at the vast tapestry of everything we've accomplished, you can find the most unexpected and delightful patterns. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other connections are just waiting out there to be discovered?